So hey guys, and welcome to the Spotlight. In this video, I'm going to do a rundown of the rocket that took us to the moon back in 1969 and the rocket which is taking us to the moon this time. So guys, this channel is everything related to space. So if it's your kind of thing, be sure to subscribe. I would like to thank Dubuya Jay for requesting this video. If you guys want any topic to be discussed in my videos, then you can leave them down in the comments. If you guys are not aware, this is the year 2019 and 50 years ago, we went to the moon. About this rocket, the Saturn V. Well, if you're not yet impressed by this rocket, remember, this remains the most powerful rocket which has ever been made. Falcon Heavy, which is the most powerful rocket currently in operation, is only second to this rocket, the Saturn V. And well, it remains the only rocket with enough delta V to reach moon with enough payload and crew and even Mars. It has the highest total impulse ever. Total impulse is the total force produced by a rocket in its entire burn time. It has records for the most payload capacity to LEO and the heaviest launch of a payload to any kind of orbit, and is the super lift vehicle in its true sense. It is also the most reliable rocket ever, with no loss of payload or crew ever. And well, it's the only rocket that took us anywhere beyond the low Earth orbit. The first stage of the Saturn V rocket was powered by 5 F1 engines, which can be regarded as one of the most powerful and reliable engines, but were quite expensive, with the cost of each engine near to $30 million. But it was the only option at that time. Most of the designing was manual using analog instruments, and there were many problems to overcome, and therefore the cost got very high. But the government was obviously fine trading money with reliability and of course a really early launch date, just because of the space race going on between the United States and the Soviet Union. After stage separation, the solid rocket boosters fire up, and we have the second stage in operation. The 5 J2 engines fire up to put the rocket in a desired trajectory. After the second stage has completed its burn, the third stage pops out with a single J2 engine. Then it retrogrades to enter a moon orbit, and shortly after that the Apollo lunar module Eagle lands on the moon. Well, but that was 1969, and now we're in 2019, and after 50 years we are more modern, and it should just be a piece of cake for us now, right? Well, we humans don't do the easy things, right? So therefore, this time we're going to the moon to stay, and that's why we have the SLS, or the Space Launch System, which is part of the RMS program taking us to the moon. The first stage of the SLS is powered by 4 RS-25 engines. For those of you who don't know, the RS-25 engines are those engines which powered the space shuttle back then. And it also has 2 solid rocket boosters which are modified and upgraded from the space shuttle version. Well, the Block 1 has a payload capacity of 95 tons, and that is already so much. But wait, the Block 1B, which is going to take the crew to the moon, has a payload capacity of 130 tons. Well, now why is that a lot? For comparison, Falcon Heavy, the most powerful rocket in operation, has a payload capacity of only 64 tons. And the most powerful rocket ever made, the Saturn V, had a payload capacity of only 118 tons. So this is definitely a competition, isn't it? If you look at both of them, the SLS looks to me more space shuttle inspired than Saturn V inspired. Well, simply because the space shuttle was a recent project with all the techniques and processes fairly relatable, while the Saturn V was designed by engineers who are mostly out of this world or simply dead or incapable of working. They had analog instruments and it's just too difficult now. Well, if you look at the top of the both the rockets, you will see an antenna-ish thing. Well, that's an antenna. That's called an escape tower. It's a solid rocket booster, which is essentially a safety device or an ejection seat, but not exactly. It is designed to pull the crew capsule to safety in an event of any mishap, or I mean explosion. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I'm guessing you liked the video. And if that's so, then don't forget to subscribe. And check out my Patreon page if you want to lend out some support. And also check out my merch for a lot of cool stuff. Link in the description. Check it out. Yes, you. Check it out.